Hi, teachers, staff, and administrators. I want to talk through how to use the pre-set up breakouts that are now available through Google Calendar. Teachers, yes, it is now safe to use Google Calendar to set up meetings with your students. There is a switch that you will need to turn off ahead of time to ensure that students can't get into the meeting ahead of time. Now, we're going to head over to a Google Classroom so I can show you two different ways that you can quickly grab the list of your students. You don't have to spend extra time doing that. The first way is through your Google Classroom. You would simply go into your Google Classroom, click the People tab, select all of your students on the list, choose Actions, and select Email. When you do that, it's going to load an email that looks like this. Now, we're not going to send the students an email. We're just going to move our cursor down, click on the BCC line, and use the shortcut Control A, holding down Control while I push the letter A once. Now, administrators, if you have a Google Classroom for your teachers, you can also use this as well. It will save lots of time to get that list into Google Calendar. Once you have this list and they are grayed, this will show that they're selected, and we're going to use the shortcut Control C, holding down Control and hitting the letter C. Now you can also pull these from Power Teacher by going into Power Teacher, clicking on your book bag, selecting email addresses at the top, and then underneath the students, selecting all the student email addresses, choosing Build List, and then highlighting the list from here as well. In Google Calendar, we are going to be creating an event, and we're going to be setting up those breakouts ahead of time using those emails that I just copied. So I'm going to create an event today from 2 to 3 p.m. I'm just going to call it meeting, and I'm going to automatically select more options. Once I'm in here, I can set the date and the time for my meeting. I'm going to add that Google Meet conferencing, and then I'm going to use the shortcut Control V for victory to paste my list in and hit enter. You'll notice it'll automatically pull up all those individuals, and it will preload you as the organizer. If it doesn't, make sure that you are on the right calendar. Once you have that set up, you're going to come over and select the gear so that we can further set up our breakouts. Under host controls, if you are a teacher inviting students, it's really important you turn off quick access. This will ensure that students can't get into the meet before you, and turning off quick access when you're done with the meet will also ensure students can't get back into the meet once you are done. You can, however, once you're in the Google Meet, toggle on quick access so your guests can quickly get in and you don't have that issue of having to let people into the room that are invited to this meet. If you're working with teachers, if you're an administrator, you definitely do not have to turn off quick access. Obviously, as adults, we'd probably be okay with the others being in the room first. Now, setting up our breakout. It's going to preload a generic 2 rooms with a shuffle. However, you can drag the students around just like you would do within Google Meet. You can rename the breakouts however you would like. This is not going to start the breakouts immediately when you get into the Google Meet. It is just going to have all of this preloaded once you are in the Meet, so you don't have to spend time or create another activity while you are rearranging breakouts with a purpose. You can come back to this at any point and rearrange before your meeting gets started, add rooms, shuffle, etc. Once you're in your Google Meet, you'll still be able to modify any of the rooms on the fly in case someone's absent or things happen to change. We're going to click Save. If at any point I need to go back and change things, I am going to click the gear in order to do that. Now, if you are a teacher, one other really important thing is down at the bottom under guest permissions, make sure that you uncheck invite others, and you probably want to uncheck see guest list. Students don't really need that. Administrators or staff, if you're inviting other individuals, depending on who you're inviting, you may also uncheck those guest permissions as well. From here, I would save my event. I'm not going to send those emails at the moment. Now, once I have this event saved on my calendar, you don't have to spend hours doing this every time. So this is why administrators, if you spend the time inviting all of the people manually the first time around, you can always click on your event, select the 3 dots, and click duplicate. When you duplicate, it will bring up your same guest list. It usually pulls up your same Google Meet, and guess what? Your breakouts will also be arranged the same as well. So you don't have to start from scratch. You can just modify the date. Maybe we want to then meet on the 1st, hit save, and everything will be saved for me to move forward. I want to double check on my quick access, just make sure that is turned off and hit save. Teachers, the one thing to keep in mind when you are doing this is this does not connect with the link in your banner within Google Classroom. Unfortunately, right now, that is not an option, so you would have to switch to pasting the link for your Google Meet into your stream or in some other way with your students, or you can even teach them how to use their Google Calendar. You'll have to make a decision as a teacher what's best for setup, and if it's most streamlined to set up your Google Meets this way, or it's just best to do the breakouts on the fly while you are teaching. If you're an administrator, I strongly suggest inviting all of your staff or whoever it is that you need in that meeting, and then having time to set up those breakouts with purpose, doing that, and then being able to duplicate that event in future instances will save you lots of time with managing your breakout rooms.